Yes. What's up, people? Welcome back to Hit the Bid. Now, I appreciate it. Now, there's no joking around about these YouTube videos I've been putting up. The viewership obviously has gone down, but we have our core people that have stuck around and have embraced the horror of what goes on in my tragic life of trading. Let's get right to it. Okay, now, first of all, if you're watching the show on YouTube or Blip TV, or live stream or Ustream, wherever you are, come to the website because that's where all the action is happening. Hang out in the chat room because yesterday was a massive day. Now, I got a great phone call yesterday from Big Al, and I think you know about the story about Big Al, but he called me up. He hasn't been doing much in the market, but I did tell him about Akamai a few weeks back, talking about how the tide has turned. Suddenly there's positive press. And normally, I say when everybody's on something, normally you want to go the other way. But here's a situation where I think they're coming into their own. And people are finally waking up to the fact that they are the king of content delivery. That they should pick up these $30 calls. I think the stock's going to start doing well. And I got a call yesterday of thanks and congratulations. Well, of course, the congratulations is never good because what do I got, 200 shares of this thing? If I would have bought a couple of hundred calls, this never would have happened. So now I'm talking about a company, Akamai, and I've been talking about it for a couple of weeks now, saying how I think you should own the stock. Now, if you think back, wasn't I saying something about shorting Akamai the other day for a trade that we made money on? See, that's where the confusion maybe sometimes comes in. One side is saying long-term hold, swing trade, options purchasing, but at the same time I'm telling you to short the stock. Doesn't make any sense. How can I tell you to buy something and also short it? Because there's a difference between investing and a difference between trading. That's why you come to the chat room, and that's mostly for the trading intraday kind of garbage that goes on, and we see what's happening on the daily basis. But if you want to be an investor, which in the bull market, to end all bull markets, the end of the world rally, the Dow 20,000, gold 2,000, oil 200 rally, hyperinflation, stagflation, nothing else matters except for Baidu rally, you gotta buy stocks. You gotta buy stocks. The government is now prohibited to allow the market to go down. I don't know if you got the memo on your desk about 20 days ago, but we went down for about 11 trading days. So my warped sense of market moments, market momentum and rallying, I say for every amount we go down, we go up twofold, maybe threefold, sometimes tenfold. So right now we're at the 22nd day. So basically we've gone up twice as many days now as we've gone down. So I think the bull move here would be to maybe lighten up on something. Lighten up on some profits that you have. If you have some Google or Baidu or Apple or Amazon, whatever you got. The thing is, I say we got 3 or 4 more days. And again, when I say there's going to be a sell-off, I'm not talking about double dip recession, massive catastrophes. I'm talking about 1 or 2% pullback, and then we'll proceed to go back up tenfold again. That's the way it is. And everyone's sitting there fighting, and all we hear is about the money on the sidelines. You know what? There is money on the sidelines. Because each day somebody wakes up who sold out about a year ago, and congratulations, it is about a year ago that we stopped the bottom. Now, today's also my wedding anniversary, March 10th. Now, if you think that I talk about all this spirituality that floats around and all these weird coincidences that happen, and hey, I base this whole entire show to do the opposite of what I do and buy stocks when I get out, and the irony of how that always works out. But if you look at March 10th and what it coincides with, if you look back in 2000, I think, or 2001, when I did get married, that was the last day of the bull market. That weekend is when I think the NASDAQ hit 5,000 or something like that. And then it was all, I got married, basically ruined it for everybody. The market crashed. And then, all those years later, it just happened to be about a day before my wedding anniversary, March 9th, happened to be one of the greatest buying opportunities of our lifetimes. And, which is really weird, if we go, I could show you some more dates and calendars of how it affects my life. Like when my first son was born, I only have one son, but when my son was born, for some reason that was a significant date on the Qs breaking out. I remember it was in April of 2002 or 2003. Great that I don't know when my son was born. But if you look at the chart, so I mean, call me nuts, but things like this are always happening. Now, yesterday was another pretty great day. The Rambus trade, let's talk about the Rambus trade. I told you guys to get into the Rambus trade because I had given up on the stock. This is the only stock that I own a couple of hundred shares of that's not going up. So I decided to buy a couple of more thousand just to bring my cost average to, you know, basically where it was and just try to make some money. But, you know, then I thought of it and I didn't like the trade. I got out. I told people to get in. Yeah, it spiked up 4 or 5 cents after I got out, but then it plummeted 40, 50 cents. So I guess you could qualify that as a bad trade. The Akamai trade was good. The A1 trade was good. And let's talk about the AIG, okay? Now, we all know how I like to trade with pivot points and reversals and momentum taking us the opposite direction the stock was in at the open. AIG was a trade that somebody in the chat room said, hey, take a look at AIG. It's starting to go. It's starting to move. So I was like, yeah, it looks like a good entry at 29.10. Look that way, boom. The stock was already close to 30. And I'm thinking, all right, if it breaks 30, it'll get in. So I'm telling people to buy AIG. Didn't really get the trade myself. I managed to catch a little bit in between 29 and 30, and then the stock exploded 5 points. That only happens to me, okay? Because I was sitting there, and I was like, I'm not a big fan of this trade. I'm probably not going to do it. I managed to catch a little bit, offered it out at 30, another whole number, and the thing just exploded. That's the kind of situation that's the normal situation that happens to me. I buy something and make a little bit of money on it, and the next thing you know, it explodes 5 points. So, all right, the market's open. Still liking this dry ships because it's a stock that everybody's on. When the day is boring, people just like to go to something that's active, and it is definitely active. So, all right, take a look at DRYS because as much as it could go right back down to $5, this thing could explode at any minute. Get some momentum behind it because everyone's shorting the stock. You gotta love a company that is on the verge of bankruptcy that people still love to trade. All right, and A1 I think came out earnings, so you might want to watch for that stock to reverse either red or stay strong and break 17 again. All right, good luck to you and see you in the chat room.
Your mother likes it.